Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Enzo, helping you with your chemistry. Please subscribe my channel and turn on the notification so you can watch my videos as soon as they are posted. Also, don't forget to leave your comments below and like my video. Before we start, let's have an overview of Chapter 1, because some of you may miss out my last lecture. Chapter 1 introduces the atomic nature of matter to us, starting from nanomaterials, and then elaborate atomic nature, structure, classification, and electron arrangements. How electrons arrange in an atom was mysterious in history until Bohr came up with the shell model, and Schrödinger upgraded this theory by putting forward his own model. Understanding the structure of atoms, especially for the electron arrangements, will be quite helpful when you study properties of elements, because in chemistry, structures always affect properties profoundly. I will repeat this point almost in every section, because it is so significant to chemistry. Last time, we went through BCE Chemistry Section 1.1, Nanomaterials. We mainly covered what are nanomaterials, what's the scale of them, their special properties, two methods to produce nanomaterials, their large surface area to volume ratio, and their applications. Today, let's move forward to section 1.2, the atomic world. In this section, we'll go through 4 points, followed by some well-designed exercise questions. The first point of today is atom. You have heard about it all the time, but what does it mean? Atom is the basic unit of substances. They bond together in a number of ways to form substances. But atoms are still divisible, and they are not solid spheres. Some people may ask me, what's inside of an atom? Well, here we have a lovely picture of atom. You guys can have a look and tell me your guess, and we'll review the answer in our next video. As to matters, they can be divided into either elements or compounds. Elements contain only one type of atoms. A rough example is here. The atoms are like soldiers in this photo. They are identical and belong to the same type. In fact, elements can be further classified into metals and non-metal elements. For example, iron and gold are metals, and hydrogen, sulfur are non-metals. Later in this subject, together, we will further study more about them. Different from elements, compounds contain different types of atoms in fixed ratios. Examples are carbon dioxide, water, and table salt. This is a picture of water molecules model, from which we can see there are 2 types of atoms in water, and the ratio of atom number is 1 to 2. Cool. After introducing the concept of atoms, the second point is atoms exist in various forms. Specifically, for non-metal elements, they can exist in 3 typical forms. Form 1 is individual atoms, which means they are monatomic. Noble gases like helium are individual atoms. Form 2 is molecules like oxygen, ozone, and nitrogen. Form 3 is giant molecules or covalent network lattice, like graphite. You can get a general idea from this picture of graphite's network lattice. Basically, it means atoms are bonded together orderly, forming a huge molecular structure. For metal elements, they exist in the form of network lattices. An example is copper. So, these are the 4 forms in which atoms of elements exist. For compounds, they can exist in either molecules or large atomic network, like what are shown in these pictures. Water represents the former, and table salt for the latter. The next topic is chemical symbols. The rule for element symbols is straightforward. Symbols are written in either 1 or 2 letters, where the first letter must be capitalized, while the second letter must be of lowercase. Examples are helium and nitrogen. And we will use chemical symbols frequently in this subject. They represent substances in a concise way, which is why I love them. Okay, Our last topic is periodic table. This table provides a reasonable way to group elements. If we look at it in the vertical direction, there are 18 columns, and we call them groups. Elements from the same group usually have similar properties. Please note that each group can have their own name. For example, group 7A, which is the 17th column in periodic table, is called halogen. Also, periodic table can be viewed in the horizontal direction. There are 7 rows in total, and we call them periods. Elements of the same period have the same number of electron layers within atoms. The highlighted period in this picture is the 4th one. Alright, after the conclusion part, let's take a look at some questions. The first is, what is the unique name of the group of inert elements? Do you guys know it? Let me give you some hints. They are inert and not reactive, always exist in the form of monatomic, and only contribute to a negligible percentage to air. They are noble gases. Question 2. Please identify these elements. Are they elements or compounds? Let's have a look. Usually, when I resolve such kind of questions, I write down their individual chemical symbol at first. So it'll be really easy to figure out whether they are elements or compounds. So, in this question, the answers are here. Please note, we need to be familiar with substances' common names because they are everywhere throughout this subject. The next question is, please compare element and compound. Well, I'll give you guys 10 seconds to think about it. Okay, basically there are 2 types of substances. Elements contain only one type of atoms. For example, ozone only contains oxygen atoms. On the contrary, in compounds there are at least 2 types of atoms in fixed ratios, like ammonia, in which the ratio of number of nitrogen and number of hydrogen is 1 to 3. Our last question is translation from elements' chemical symbols to English names. This question tests how familiar you are with elements, especially for their names. Answers are here. And if you have difficulties working it out, please go back to your periodic table and have a look at elements' names carefully. You are not required to recite every element's English names, but at least you should know about some frequently seen elements. Oh good! Now before we continue, let's have a flashback. In this section, we went through 4 points. The first is the concept of atom, basic unit of substances, and substances can be divided into elements and compounds. They have an apparent difference. Do you still remember it? The second point is atoms exist in various forms. Actually, there are 4 forms for elements and 2 for compounds. We need you to recall what they are in specific. The next point is chemical symbols. What is the rule when writing a chemical symbol? I think if you remember these 2 symbols for helium and nitrogen, you can easily come up with it. Our last point is periodic table. Do you still remember what are groups and periods? And how many of them in the periodic table? Cool! If you can understand all of these points and memorize them, I think you will perform well during quiz or exams. Please leave your comments below this video because I appreciate your feedbacks to make this channel better. Also, you can leave your questions and I will help. Don't forget to like this video and share it. More importantly, please subscribe my channel and turn on the notification so you can watch my video first time. Today, we level up to level 3. And next time, we will unlock section 1.3, Inside Atoms. See you soon. Bye.